All right, let's get into it. Got my coffee. Okay, today I thought about what I would talk about, and I came up with where is my skating now? In order to talk about that, I have to kind of go back a little bit to not last year, but actually the year before, because I got injured and was out the entire year 2023. Well, close to it, most of the year. Let's go back to then, summer 2022. Had a lot of momentum, cool stuff happening. I had just filmed a kind of secret part for my friend Miguel. You know him on Instagram as Sin710. His project called Hamilton Homies, and he films all his friends up at Hamilton Skate Park in Novato. I DM'd him and asked to be in on it, and we went off kind of in secret and filmed in the morning when no one was around, and spent 2 days, but I wore the same clothes so it looked like the same day. A little bit of the old POW magic there, but you know, it's hard to get enough tricks for a part when you're my age. But yeah, it worked out great. Had a fun time. Got some clips. Some I'm actually pretty proud of. Most was just usual skating. But then after that, I brought some boards down to Rip City. These were really special. It was a guest model I got on Santa Monica Airlines. Skip, entrusted me to make those boards, and I brought some down for him to sign and send back up. Oh, and while I was down there, I skated the barracks again, which I hadn't been since BATB1. No, actually, wait a sec. I had skated a couple more times, but it was around back then. So it had been like, I don't know, 15 years since I had been there. Like, it had been a while. I got some tricks there, and it was my birthday. All this cool stuff was happening. So then in November, I go out. I'm like pretty excited after filming that Hamilton Homies part, and I'm like, dude, I think I can get out there and like skate it. Let's try and film this stuff. And so I had started to meet with Miguel and film skating, and he was like, well, what's this for? And I was like, I don't know, nothing in particular. I just want to stack clips, I don't know what this is, what you do as a skater, right? And I figured I would use some of it somewhere eventually. So the first time we're out, or he suggests this like foot plant off this like bank to chain link fence, right? And I start trying it a couple times, and I land a little awkward, and I feel my back kind of sore. Not real bad though. A short while later, I roll my ankle, and I'm like, ah, man, it was bad, but not enough to end the session bad. So then we get a couple tricks, what I was trying to get, but it is what it is. It was a day out skating. Well, that night I got home, and my whole body, man, I was rocked. My back started to stiffen up, and my ankle swelled up. I got my air cast. Luckily, it was here and not in storage, and put it on. I've had numerous ankle injuries over the years, and the air casts really support you. You can actually walk on I'm worried about how am I going to work the next day. So I get the air cast. I'm able to get around the house, but I'm in bad shape. So I get up the next morning, and I cannot believe this. My ankle's actually good. Like, unbelievable. I thought I was going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks on this thing, and it's swelling's gone down. It's not bad. Things are looking up. I'm working with a student the next week, and I had noticed that day I had some weird pain in my hip that felt somewhat familiar. Wasn't stopping me from skating, but it was weird. It was uncanny. I was like, I know this feeling. I felt this before. And so I was showing my student a pretty simple trick, right? Just a boneless to tail, right? I demonstrated one. And on the way down, and I didn't boost it too high or anything, I just felt my back give. And it was like, whoa, what just happened? And from that point on, I was injured. And it was so bad, I couldn't sit in a chair. I was having difficulty putting on a shoe. I couldn't lift something or barely walk. Like, I was in bad shape for almost an entire year. Man, it was really rough. And I did go skating. So like I said, the whole year. So 2023, I'm out. I can't skate. I physically can't. And then on September, I invite people up to McGinnis Park for my birthday. And I skate a little bit there, but it's minimal. I think I did a kickflip on flat. That was pretty exciting. And you got to think this is since November the year before, so almost a whole year, 10 months. Here's another just terrible twist of fate. I got hurt right when my board came out. So I was still riding the prototype when I got hurt. I hadn't even skated one with the graphic on it. So it was just really rough. I had all this momentum. I'm all excited to like take photos, get video shots, do stuff on my new board. I couldn't do any of that. I was talking to Richie Jackson a lot around this time, and he had invited me out to work on the skate park they're doing out there, the boonies, right? And super cool, right? But I wasn't too. I wouldn't be useful at that point. I was still hurt, couldn't participate. But in that time, I got better, and we had talked a bunch more. And at that point, he was just like, "Hey, dude, come out anytime, come stay, do a podcast. We'll film skating. We'll if you can get out here, I got you." And that was super nice of him, and I'm definitely going to take him up on that, maybe in a few months or something, or, but I definitely will hit you up on that, Richie. I really appreciate it. So that had been going on. And sometime during our conversations, I went out to maybe like shoot some photos on one of my boards to maybe like document some of it and get some attention to it. And I thought I was just going to shoot some photos. I ended up being able to skate, and I got a couple good tricks, and I actually did a really good trick. I was so excited. From that day, I was like, wow, I can skate again. But it was only about once a month. And so this was about 4 months ago. So I started skating once a month, and that's about what my body would allow. So 2 weeks ago, I went out with my friend Stu, and we started filming. And I talked to him about wanting to film on a regular basis because I feel my body starting to return to being able to skate like once a week or something like that. And so Stu's down. Unfortunately, last week he was sick, and so we couldn't go do it. But tomorrow he's good. So we're going to go to this school, Wade Thomas, that used to be completely skatable. Last time I skated there was 2012, something like that. And it was really hard to skate then. The bank's gotten dilapidated. There's a big portable in the way. Well, fast forward to now, it is almost impossible to get a trick on. There's a huge lump on the roll-up. The bank is completely screwed. I went there last week and I sussed it out. There was a huge shadow on the bank from the buildings, and so I couldn't see anything. What I'm thinking is get there early before the shadow comes down on the bank. And then you'll at least stand a chance. It's still going to be pretty impossible to skate, but I'm going to make the best of it. And that's what I'm going to do tomorrow. And that's kind of where my skating's at now. I'm trying to get to the point where I can skate once a week. And I'm purposely going out and documenting it, filming, perhaps taking photos, doing something to have something to show for it later. Which again ties into this whole project thing I'm doing because I'm excited about it. I want skateboarding to my current skateboarding to be a part of it. All right, so that's my skating lately. A year-long injury, just getting back to it. I've skated maybe once a month for the past 4 or 5 months, and now I'm feeling like I can be up to once a week. This will be my first time skating every 2 weeks. All right, so hopefully next week I'll be able to hit you guys back with some footage of me skating. Thanks again so much for tuning into this channel and checking out an old guy talking about skateboarding. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. Peace.